Working in the United States, English photographer Edward Muybridge laid the foundation for the invention of Edison's motion picture camera.
A Moment in Time with Dan Roberts.
Edward Muybridge was born in Surrey, England, Kingston-on-Thames in 1830. He migrated to the United States in 1852 and settled in San Francisco, where he worked in publishing and bookselling. After sustaining a head injury in a stagecoach accident in 1860, Muybridge recuperated in England and returned to San Francisco 6 years later. He took up photography and captured the imagination of the international public with his stunning photographs of Yosemite Valley, panoramic images of San Francisco, and his photographic surveys, commissioned by the U.S. government, of remote regions of the newly purchased vast territory of Alaska. In 1872, railroad magnate and former governor of California Leland Stanford, a horse breeder and trainer, commissioned Muybridge to settle a $25,000 bet. During a horse's gallop, is there a point where all 4 feet clear the ground? Stanford contended there was and thought Muybridge could prove it for him. Muybridge accepted the offer, but his work for Stanford was interrupted 2 years later when he was arrested and tried for murdering his wife's lover, whom he suspected was the father of his son. Acquitted with the defense of justifiable homicide, Muybridge spent the next year on a photographic expedition in Central America. He returned to his work for Stanford in 1877, and during the next 2 years he proved Stanford's theory correct by developing a high-speed shutter mechanism so the fast-moving horse would not appear as a blur. He set up batteries of 12 to 24 cameras. Each camera was triggered by a string across the track. When the horse ran through, sequential photographs of the horse's motion were taken. Muybridge then developed a projecting device called a zoopraxiscope, in which the sequential photographs were shown in rapid succession, much like a children's flip book. After a European tour with his new invention and slides, Muybridge returned to the U.S. in 1884 and worked at the University of Pennsylvania, where he produced over 100,000 photographs and published portfolios on animal and human locomotion. Muybridge returned to his birthplace to retire in 1900 and died in 1904. At the University of Richmond, I'm Dan Roberts.